Hello and welcome, and this is code NAUT. Something that has pretty much went to nothing. At least this was a price code that was in at 150,000 satoshi, currently trading in at 392. Don't know if this would be a good time to start playing. And I talk about just getting into a position and selling for good gains. Well, if you would have, say, started any time around here, you pretty much lost everything you've invested with very little value right now, as this thing has just been tanking. Of course, when I simulated this, I simulated the entire duration where it had a lot of good up and down choppy moves, which could allocate large amount of profits. In this case, nothing large actually, or nothing substantially big. Started with 0.1, never really got much more than 0.07, but the bankroll would be over a quarter. And what you have is 6,000 buys and 2,000 sells. So therefore, you didn't sell all that much percentage wise, but enough where you can go for some big gains. And I'm going to try to allocate this or do this within real codes, but I want to use a spreadsheet like this to make it easy tracking purposes, to just see how about maybe 10 to 12 of these at the same time are going to be doing. So the first one, that'll be QTUM, which is showing a nice interesting pattern, how on the daily chart it's made a nice little move up to this point and looking like it wants to make a run higher. But the mathematics for playing all of these are going to be the same. An entry position for me will be 0.02 BTC. And on future buys, they are going to be lower in value. In this case, 1/3 of what is purchased, but 0.007. After you buy, you're going to find out about 20% of what you buy is, and you put 5 different sell orders. So let's do this within the QTUM. So therefore, 10 are added. It doesn't have to be exactly 0.02, but just an even, easy number to use will be 10, thus allocating 5 different sell orders of 2 tokens or coins per order. And the way of playing this is when you put a sell order in, you want to buy it back significantly cheaper, to the point where you can buy back over at least 3 for cheaper than what you bought 2. At least on the start it is. When these things pump big, I'm going to be really greedy as far as, maybe I'll look for a 60-70% correction at times. But now let's determine where a few sell orders should go. Price action is at 180 right now. It's got a nice little setup. Definitely, of course, these markets could head lower. There's definitely going to be a buy around 122. That's a given. Maybe probably one down below this low as the next one. Those will be the next 2 buy orders, but we're looking for sell targets. So the first one I think is probably going to be a Fibonacci calculation from the 191 handle down to 150, and that would be the first sell level. And let me here we have it. 222. So roughly around in here. But we could look a little further and think, you know what, maybe we want to go up towards this key previous high around 271. That would allocate right now about a 50% gain on original buy. So it's not a bad starting spot. And we'll need to get a few more. So let's just by looking at a level, we got this previous mark, a decent leg higher than the last one. And it's close to about 100% gain from this area. And then you can go maybe previous high is somewhere around here. Maybe you can fill one gap in here and then one for a new high. So there's 4 of the 5 sell orders. And with the highest one being in around 55, I'd probably put the final one in close to 100% gain on that point at around the 99 handle. And the 3 buy orders that are going to be executed, again, very simple. I pointed out the 2 before, right below this previous low, in at around the 15 handle. And again, we will put one at the previous low. Roughly around the 120 area. 121 even, 122. And then a downside calculation from the 191 and the 122 area. Which would be about the 90 level. So those would be the 3 buy orders, and each for about 0.007. And I put a buy order to buy 5 here, 5 here, and then on the lower level at around the 90 handle to buy 8. So I don't know what's going to happen first, but I know how I'm going to play either or. If the sell orders come in, then I'm going to try to buy back what I sold at a much lower price. In this case, we'd be looking back in here by a little more than what I sold. So probably I would look at around 2.25 to 2.5 as I would be selling to. And if it manages to start to get a few extra buy orders come in, then I'll have an increased amount of tokens. Thus, I really don't want to sell less than about 8% of what I'm owning, or about 12 holdings of such. So if I have orders of to sell 2 and I just somehow buy, and I got 40 or so, then I'm going to look to sell 4 or 5, maybe 3.5, which means I'll be deleting all my sell orders and just replacing them with new ones, or just adding a little extra a sell order to it would be just as easy. Wings will be another one, and I like the setup on this. Maybe one would state, ooh, the failed move states you should, if you're going to play, look for a much cheaper price than 63.80. But this is the whole point. And placing the buy orders lower, because I know exactly where my first buy order is going to be, and it's not going to be previous low at the 5,000 handle, but the downside calculation from here up towards this one in here. This is more of an aggressive play, because as it stands, I got the first sell in at 93. I could have a second sale in at around 15,000. Then I can go in about 21,000, and then I can go about 35,000, and then maybe about 70. I can buy 300 with 2% of a Bitcoin. This allocates 5 sell orders at 60 wings per piece. Oh, I hope you're hungry. But for profit wise, I'm very, very hungry. So therefore, these are the 4 sell orders, with 75 being a good 5th one. Now, as far as the downside target is concerned, that's in at 33.63. So that would be a drop of about half its value. 5,000. I've decided I think I can put one in around 5,000, 3,000, and 1,500. And within those three levels, I have placed orders to buy 140, about 220, and like 400 as it goes lower. And if the buy orders come in and the amount of wings grows, the sell orders will follow. If the 9,200 sell order comes in, I'd be looking to probably buy back at around 6,000. So that's about a 50% return. So therefore, if I'm selling 60, I'm probably going to look to buy back around 80. And if anyone has any suggestions for other different codes that you think would be good to add it, I'll probably in the next week or so add at least around 12 towards this list and track them within a spreadsheet, and then I'm getting overall allocation to how they're all doing collectively as well. Thank you for tuning in. Take care.